The behind the scenes of our franchise is on fire, and this is happening right after the draft, and what just leaked could change the fate of our season. There is a powerful behind the scenes movement happening right now to sign a true lethal weapon, a heavyweight player who is available in the market and has the absolute power to transform our offense overnight. Our management knows they need to strike immediately before a rival steals this key piece. Who is this giant that is in our sights? Hold your excitement, as I will reveal this name and the secret strategy shortly in the video. And the dust from our picks has barely settled, but analysts have dissected every move we made in this year's recruitment. They laid bare the truth, revealing the genius masterstrokes and the mistakes that border on disaster. But pay close attention. When analyzing these notes, there's a hidden and extremely toxic flaw in one of these selections that could simply throw our entire reconstruction into the trash if not controlled, and I highly doubt you had the coldness to realize what the real ticking time bomb is that was planted in our roster. Every second of today's video is going to be very interesting, so hit the like button. It's just one click, and it helps me a lot to continue bringing you the best news about the Commanders. The Washington Commanders have significantly moved past the 2026 NFL Draft. As a fan who follows every move, I know this was an important opportunity. The consensus is that General Manager Adam Peters and his team once again achieved great results with the majority of their selections. Washington addressed many questions ahead of the draft in a strategic way, but that doesn't mean their roster is exactly where they want it to be, as the preseason programs prepare to start consistently. When analyzing the roster and the player list, the Commanders show no obvious gaps after the draft, but they could strengthen certain player groups with the addition of one more veteran free agent considerably. And we have exactly what they need. The Commanders should strategically sign wide receiver Jawan Jennings. We have written about the Commanders and Jennings in the past, but nothing really came to fruition in that regard. And while the Commanders have many receivers on the roster after signing Diami Brown and Van Jefferson, and drafting Antonio Williams from Clemson, none of them would be able to offer Washington's offense what Jennings would. After investing a lot of time and resources in bolstering the defense, Peters secured a quality player for the offense for the Commanders considerably. Jennings is an option that Peters, who scouted Jennings as a late draft pick coming from the University of Tennessee and who played for the 49ers, knows well his playing style. And although he isn't favored in the league for his aggression on the field, he would bring a higher level of physicality and intensity to the Commanders' offense. Standing at 6'3" and over 200 pounds, Jennings is great at making contested catches and offers versatility, having played all three wide receiver positions. Despite his size, due to injuries and other factors within the 49ers wide receiver group, while he is strong as a receiver, Jennings also stood out as the best run blocker. Among the league's wide receivers, something the Commanders would likely love to have on their offense. In the system of the new offensive coordinator, David Blau, consistently, Jennings seems to be the ideal option as a starter alongside Terry McLaurin. And the newly drafted Williams in the slot receiver position? However, this would likely mean they would have to part ways with one or two players to make room, and it would also probably take them out of the running for Brandon Ayuk, the other wide receiver from the 49ers they have been associated with. According to reports, Jennings has also been asking for a price much higher than his valuation indicates. In financial contract terms, he would likely have to lower the price he is asking to join the team, even though Washington still has one of the largest investment powers in the league. The Washington Commanders believe they got it right with their player selection in the first round, and they remain committed to bolstering the roster with another athlete outside of the draft. But after all, what was the team's overall performance in the 2026 NFL Draft? Check out the detailed grades for each of the Commanders' selections. By choosing 7th overall, the Commanders took a significant step to considerably improve their defense. But, as we will see, it was a tumultuous journey during the draft. First round, 7th pick, LB Sonny Styles, Ohio State. It can be said that this was an obvious choice for the Commanders, especially after Jeremiah Love had already been selected. The Commanders wanted to improve the speed of their defense, and they achieved that with Styles. He ran the 40 yards in an impressive 4.46 seconds at the Combine. He is a solid defender against the run, with excellent range. Additionally, he is a good pass defender. He reads the ball well and has the necessary size and wingspan to consistently cover tight ends closely. As a bonus, he can also effectively cover running backs. It's a situation where Styles has everything to gain. He has been compared to Fred Warner, according to ESPN. The selection of Styles was perfect for the Commanders, since they had been associated with him throughout the draft process, wrote Matt Miller. Coach Dan Quinn gets an impact middle linebacker and a player with similar traits to Fred Warner. The former safety will have the starting role in Washington, where he will have the task of stopping quarterback Jalen Hurts and running back Saquon Barkley from the Philadelphia Eagles at least twice a season. Styles has the potential to be an All-Pro and will start immediately after 2 fantastic consecutive seasons at Ohio State, playing in a professional defensive system. Grade A+. Third round, 71st pick, W.R. Antonio Williams, Clemson. Remember this name? Chris Brazzell II. He could haunt the Commanders all season long. Washington passed on the big and speedy Brazzell to select Williams at 6'0" and a 187 lbs, who does not represent a true vertical threat. It is an incomprehensible choice for a team that clearly has not learned the lesson, with picks like Luke McCaffrey, Jalen Lane, and Jahan Dotson in recent years. According to NFL.com, Williams will become an average starter. What a considerable surprise. Williams is a real football player with good size and the ability to create problems when he has the ball, wrote Lance Zierlein. He improvises a lot within routes, which creates uncertainty for cornerbacks. But teams can focus on improving his attention to detail and increasing efficiency to keep him on schedule. He is not a deep threat receiver, but he plays fast from start to finish, and has the ball skills to make difficult catches. He is more agile than explosive, with an exceptional ability to gain yards after the catch. Williams has the potential to be a productive slot receiver, with legitimate talent for running, passing, and receiving passes, which should please creative offensive coordinators. The only thing preventing the Commanders from receiving a terrible grade is that Williams scored 21 touchdowns during his college career. He may also be able to be a considerable elite player in the NFL. Grade C. 5th round, 147th pick. Edge Joshua Josephs, Tennessee. The Commanders are up and down in the draft. In the 5th round, this is a great pick. There's real hope that a solid player emerges here, according to ESPN clearly. Joseph's wingspan allows him to keep offensive linemen away from his body, and gives him an advantage when working the edge, wrote Scouts Inc. He will need to continue developing his pass rush arsenal and incorporate more moves to become more consistent as a pass rusher. But he shows surprising strength, having the ability to pressure the quarterback and push offensive tackles back. Josephs also plays with a lot of agility. He has traits that can be leveraged at the next level, and plays with a lot of energy, giving him the potential to become a productive player with continuous improvement. According to ESPN, speed also comes into play here. He has good reaction speed, having run the 40 yards in 4.73 seconds. An excellent time for a defensive end, wrote John Keim. Josephs finished his college career with 9.5 sacks and 22 tackles for loss. Furthermore, the Commanders did not miss on choosing an edge rusher in this year's draft. Grade A+, 6th round, 187th pick, Katrin Allen, Penn State. Back to the negative side, with running back Demond Claiborne, capable of threatening both in runs and home runs. Still available, the Commanders opted for the bruising player, Allen. Don't the Commanders already have Rashad White on the roster? Isn't a bruising player considerably enough? Congratulations on choosing a player who can make the roster, instead of a potential starter like Claiborne, according to NFL.com. Allen is productive, with good size and vision, but with below-average explosiveness, wrote Zierlein. He's a fluid runner with ideal patience and a natural sense of when to shed blocks. He runs low to the ground with enough strength to break tackles and fall forward after contact. His ability to develop routes allows him to fit into any running scheme, but his lack of explosiveness will likely restrict his field and limit his ability to find explosive runs. Allen appears to have little value on third downs and in special teams, but he could earn a spot as a solid backup. Below average explosiveness, lack of burst, and little utility on special teams. What's not to like considerably? Grade D. 6th round, 209th pick. Matt Golban, Penn State. This is a choice for development, which is all that can be expected from the offensive line at this moment. It's possible that Golban simply becomes a quality backup on the interior defensive line, wrote Keim. A crucial factor will be his ability to move laterally as a blocker. Since Washington will likely play more with outside zone coverage, Washington needed more options in the trenches, especially at the center position. After the release of Tyler Biadasz, Nick Allegretti remains the favorite to be the starter. But with Golban, the Commanders gain a player who can be developed in the future. Still, his lack of ideal size and short arms make him a long-term question mark, even as a backup considerably. Note, C, 7th round, number 223, QB Athan Kaliakmanis, Rutgers. It is true that, at this point in the draft, the Commanders can't do much. At this moment, betting on risky picks is the best strategy. The 49ers can verify this with Brock Purdy. But what about Kaliakmanis? He was so unknown that Zierlein didn't even give him a ranking. What makes everything even more confusing is that the Commanders passed on Grant Nussmeier, who was the 4th highest-rated quarterback, according to NFL.com. He was ranked 3rd, according to NFL Draft Buzz. It seems to be a classic case of a team trying to show the rest of the NFL that we know more than you. A considerably poor pick, no matter what the Commanders try to justify, according to ESPN. We're in the situation we're in with Jaden Daniels, Marcus Mariota, and Sam Hartman, said Lance Newmark, assistant general manager of the Commanders. This guy made sense at this moment. We like him a lot. We wanted to see if we could bolster that position. He fit perfectly in various aspects for us. Note: F. So, how do all these grades add up? Basically, it's 2 A's, 2 F's, and 2 C's. It's a classic considerably C draft grade. Overall grade, C. The overall assessment of the Commanders' draft shows an interesting pattern of hits and misses. Experts acknowledge that Adam Peters made some excellent choices, particularly with Sonny Styles and Joshua Josephs. Those were selections that demonstrate a clear understanding of the team's needs. However, the picks of Antonio Williams and Athan Kaliakmanis left a lot to be desired according to professional analysts. These selections seem to reflect a lack of clarity on what the team really needs to compete immediately. The overall grade of C reflects this inconsistency. As a Commanders fan, I'm torn about the overall draft performance. Some picks were brilliant, while others seemed questionable. Peters had the opportunity to build a stronger roster, but some decisions didn't seem ideal. The key now will be how these players develop during the preseason and the regular season. One player may surprise positively, while another might not perform as expected. Time will tell whether the draft was successful or not. The future of the Commanders will depend not only on the draft choices, but also on how Adam Peters continues to build the roster through free agency. Signing a veteran like Jawan Jennings could help compensate for some of the questionable draft picks. So, fan, after discovering that the Commanders should sign Jawan Jennings as a free agent to strengthen the offense, understanding that Sonny Styles and Joshua Josephs received A+ grades from experts, and knowing that Antonio Williams and Athan Kaliakmanis received grades of C and F respectively, which of these situations makes you more hopeful or concerned? Do you believe the Commanders should really sign Jawan Jennings, or would it be smarter to focus on other positions of need and let the current receivers develop? And more importantly, do you trust that Adam Peters will make the right choices to compensate for the draft mistakes through free agency, or are we doomed to see the team suffer from the questionable decisions made during the draft? Leave your opinion in the comments. I want to know what you think about the future of the Washington Commanders.